Hello, all you divine, infinite human beings. You are all that is, ever has been, and ever can be. You are divine, infinite love. You are divine, infinite truth. You are divine, infinite source. I am in another city today. Not supposed to be. And it's interesting because look, there's Italian, Sicilian tarot cards on this, which I think is fascinating. But at the same time, this. This is in a little tiny Sicilian village, okay? I mean, I'm not in America. In fact, I left America to get away from this. So I could go to a cafe and have a cappuccino or something baked, fresh every morning, Those little niceties they're closed. And so who's getting the money? Our vote, which is money. Places like this. But at least they had Taroki there. So I'm walking around and I just want to update you. Stores are being able to open up, some of them. Hairdressers, no. Which is fine. But stores in the mornings only, which of course in Italy it ends at 1:30, so you have to there's only a few hours anyway. Sicily, they do siesta anyway. So I'm used to not having stores all the time, which is a good thing. I want to say happy Earth Day to you because today is Earth Day, our Mother Earth. And I'm going to do another video at my home, my villa, because I decided finally today is the day. I've been waiting. I've got these seeds and I've been waiting to plant seeds for the new Earth. And I invite everyone to contemplate the powerful meaning of what I just said. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the two worlds. I've talked to you about them a long time. Organic Earth ascension and false ascension in the technological matrix. Now, this is a spiritual video. In Sicily. I was guided to come here to Sicily because first of all, guided. I'm going to tell you something about intuition. Your intuition knows what you should do, but the problem is, and I was told this many years ago, you have to discern between I had two spiritual teachers, as my male spiritual teacher said, who's gone now, and used to say, hey, what are you doing here? Figure it out yourself, research it yourself. Really very empowering. He used to say, is it your intuition or are you intuition? I don't think anybody had this on their vision board for 2020. So I have found through 30 years, well actually when I was a child, I had to use my intuition, as many starseeds probably had to, because the truth is many spiritual people chose, whether you know it or not, very difficult, dysfunctional, abusive relationships. And I'm telling you why now. This is why you chose that. So you would learn to rely not on the external world, but on your intuition, not intuition. I had to. I was severely dyslexic. The only way I fit in to the dogmatic educational system, the only way I managed to, keep my creative spirit, my sparkle alive, was through creativity and through using my intuition. And I think all of us probably had to do that as children. And that's why it's so, as I said, I wrote a children's book about the magical mist and how our children are being robbed of their creative sparkle, of their intuition. Now, as you get more programmed with the dogma of the external world, which is, you begin to lose that and you begin to put your desires, your ego desires, on external worlds, which is why, for example, when I was doing coaching, I'd say, what's your vision for 2020? Well, I want to have a relationship, I want to make a lot of money, and I want to have the perfect job. That's what I got from so many people. And I was like, okay, it's not going to work this way, guys. So the problem is we've been so programmed to think what we want. And the truth is, for me, I've learned the hard way that many times when I get information, it's not what I want. Starting to be more and more, because I'm dovetailing with the infinite divine source, with God, and as you realize you're God, as you become one with God, this voice is your voice. You're one. But because of our ego, because of our programming, we set our desires on many external things, which is why so many spiritual people are lost in this how to manifest, the secret, all they want to do is manifest their will. Fine, but you've got to realize where your will's coming from. Is your will a program thing that you think you want? Because I've had it all. I've had penthouses, I've had dream homes, I've had lots of money, I've had very little money, and I've learned through going through my bucket list very fast. It really, the truth is, what all the wise sages said, it's not the external world that feeds you, it's that connection with divine force, source, the force. And so I've been getting lately, like I said, I get things and I'm kind of like, what? You want me to build an ark? What? I really don't want to do that. But I got led to come here to Sicily to buy some land because it's very fertile soil, and to get into permaculture. Who knows, maybe even a community. Not me. I've seen people in the 60s start communities. What a disaster. They all failed. When you start a community, and again, my male spiritual teacher said, you're just bringing everybody with their problems together, and it turned out this community that I observed, thank God we didn't partake in it, was a disaster. But I think the new earth is going to be made of higher vibratory frequency communities where people have risen to the point where they unify in their God selves, knowing they are God. And intuitively, they know what they need because they're unified in beyond ego and up into the voice of God. So that's what happens, and that's there's the true natural selection. It's not survival of the fittest. It's those who do the work and rid themselves of all their connections to the mind control and the broken three-dimensional planet Earth, and raise their vibrations to a level where they can really truly get information, and they will come together not from a hive mind of control, but from a divine collective of unity, from the God source, omnipresent, omnipotent, that is in all of us. Those are going to be the builders, the foundations of the new earth. And I received a message today, all I can do, from a very dear, sweet gal who's a mother of 3 children. She was traveling around with her husband in a motorhome, and I met her here in Sicily. And she's very tuned in, and when I first met her, I talked about this. She kind of had that desire, and now she said she wants to find a place like anybody else, where she can be free, where she can grow clean food, where she can unschool, she calls it unschool her children, which is what I was all about when I wrote my children's book, where she can have a decent life. And I think more and more people are going to be called to do that. Like I said, we don't need to do groups, communes, whatever. It needs to come from, it's an inside job. It needs to come from inside you. And you're going to have to do the work. If you're still waiting around for someone to save you, this is them, their intuition, whether it's Christ, God, your inner God, divine source, is telling you. They will tell you what to do, but you have to listen to it. So today, on Earth Day, I've had this, plot of land. I know nothing about gardening. I did it once, and I remember Peter did it too. So But guys, I have to be, this is why I know it's my intuition, because it's not something I'm dreaming of. I was a gal, a doctor's wife, dream house, penthouse, camping was a triple wide, you know. I was thinking of today when I went camping in college with like my Texano, you know, boyfriend and his thugs, and the girls were all over the fire cooking, and I was like, who's washing the dishes? You know, I was a princess. I admit it. This was part of my journey. So I am not one of these hippie, organic, I don't know about that stuff. I know some, I know I can learn it. I can learn anything. And I know I've been asking, I've joined permaculture communities, self-sufficient communities. And actually I watched my husband, because we did live on a ranch in Montana that was totally off the grid, and we were into that. But you know, he's moved on. He's not on this earth anymore. And so I'm still working with him, but you know, and I know I'll get it. I'll figure it out. And I'm gonna start small with a little horta, they call it here, a little vegetable garden. And there's some fruit trees. So that's what I'm being led to do. You guys need to tune in and see what you're led to do. I'm not doing it because I'm survivalist. Oh my God, I'm not doing it, you know, out of fear, but I have been led to do this. And you know, who knows what the collective's going to decide to do. Are they going to decide to take their freedom back? That would be great. That would be great if everybody rebelled, tore down the 5G towers, and, you know, flooded the cities, and anyway, it would be great. It could happen. Meantime, I'm going to do my part. It's an inside job, guys. Do what you're led to do, and don't get into wishing what you want to have happen. I will say one more thing about these holographic theater we are now living in. It's been around for a long time, guys. The satellites are encasing the planet. Artists have painted pictures of it. Graphic artists have put things on Facebook. I think I have some on my No More Lockdown Facebook page. It's been around a long time. And now we're seeing the final phases of putting everything in place so that we can live in a virtual reality. And I was listening about the Blue Beam project, a lot of good information there. I would say Google it if it's still there. But the point is, it's beautiful here. The point I'm saying is, you're being transhumanized into an artificial reality, right? What's the solution? Be organic. I don't mean, or organic is going back, or there's nothing, you have to buy organic food here. It's silly, 100 years ago they just called it food, okay? So how do you tell? Unfortunately, in Italy you can tell, but a lot of Americans have never even tasted real food. So it's like butter. You have a choice between butter, real butter, or oleo. Please always choose, it's not, do you do dairy, are you vegan, blah, blah, blah. You know what to do, okay? And believe me, again, with my intuition, I've been a diehard. You know, I've been a vegan, I've been a vegetarian, I've been a vegan, but I've also done whatever I could, and I can't get away with it anymore. You know, there's a lot of things I can't do. I personally can't do dairy. I can't do alcohol. You know, there's just, as you raise your vibrations, there's certain things that just fall away. Not because you think you should, but because it's just not part of that higher vibration anymore. So without thinking you have to be something or do something, you know. So anyway, I want to say that we're being encased in this holographic, it's already there, and people, even I got tricked into it, I got duped. So, you know, I've been showing you where to steer clear of, but you know, there's a lot of weird things in the sky happening, and you're gonna see it happen more. Spaceships, rainbows, and I'm not saying there's not a rainbow energy, because I work every day with that. I think there's this high frequency, aurora frequency from our future Earth that is now encasing us, from the 5D Earth that is here, that is sending this helpful energy to run through yourself, rainbow currents to take down this grid. But be careful if you see pictures on Facebooks all over the place of these rainbows, because you still have to have a discernment. If you are awakened in your pineal gland, I can see the rainbows, I can see them, but they're not just there in the sky looming overhead. And if you don't believe, Germany started holographic circuses now. How did they do that? Holograms. Holograms have been around for ages, and I was really into that for a while. And thank God I learned so much about it. I know Peter he was a doctor. He wanted to work, do surgery with holographic images to be, see the organs better. That was the whole medical thing. But now we're living in a hologram. So a lot of religious people are going to see Christ. A lot of people, we've already have something called a voice of God. Again, intuition, There is technology that can actually put this intuition into your head. So if it's so good, if someone's they've seen God, they've talked to Jesus, and then I know a lot of people here, I believe in Jesus Christ, I believe in Jesua, I believe in... Okay, I'm just going to clarify that, all right? I really think it's important. I loaded up something about Socrates. Socrates said, an intelligent man listens to everybody, a stupid man listens to no one and thinks what they know is truth. And again, this hologram thing got me. So know you're encased in a hologram, and know that the Christ, I know so many people are waiting around for the Christ to come, and this is a great avenue to bring that in. Also, aliens to come and save them. Whatever you're waiting from, Trump waiting to save you, it's here because they can manufacture it just like that. Or inside of your mind with 5G beam steering. So Christ is much more infinite than just one man, okay? I'm not saying there wasn't, an ascended, and the thing I love about Christ, and I'm here in Italy, so I'm here, there's a church right behind me. They're very religious people, and okay, the Carabinieri are calling me, so I have to go. So anyway, very religious people, and I've got to go because the Carabinieri are calling me. So I'm just gonna walk past them. So anyway, hopefully they're not gonna